I am back again. This is Cindy from Cindy Lee Design, and I am going to show you just how fast it is to create a branded Facebook post image using PicMonkey. If you've watched my last video, you know that this is one of my favorite programs. It's really easy to use. I love showing it to my clients because it allows them to create some branded graphics for their own social media and websites once we've gone through and established their brand identity. So I am actually going to show you how quick and easy it is to create a post by creating the post that I'm about to use for my first PicMonkey tutorial video that I posted. So without further ado, let me show you how fast this is. So I'm going to go up here to design. I'm already in my PicMonkey account. I'm going to go over to templates. And because I know I'm creating an image for a Facebook post, I'm going to go to blank canvas and I'm going to go to Facebook. Here it pulls up all my perfectly sized options for Facebook. And like I said, I'm creating a post image, so I'm going to click open. And now it's sized just right for me. And so down here's my layers panel. And I don't have anything in there yet, right? We're using a blank canvas. I want to drop an image that I created that I'm going to use for an image that I'm going to use for tutorials and things like that. So I am going to go over here to the butterfly so that I can add my image. If I just went to open new, it would open it in the size of my image, and I don't want to do that. I want it to go over the graphics so that I can crop it so that it's the right size. So I'm going to click add your own. It's on my computer. I've already put my assets, my graphics and fonts and colors are assets. I've already put them into a folder here so I can grab them real quick. This is the image that I'm going to use. I took this using my iPad and a light box that I created, and in future tutorials I'll show you how to create a light box so that you can create product images that look fantastic for your website. I'm just resizing it, pulling up the corners here because it is an image that I edited with a bit of a crop on it. So there we go, perfect. I've got my nice little sticky note there. I like how that looks. If I wanted to fade this image out, if I wanted it to be a little softer, I could fade it out here. Another option I would have is if I wanted to get rid of some background, you can use the eraser tool. I'm not going to do that today, but it is a handy little tool. I could erase this out. You want to be really careful when you're erasing things though, unless it's small little blemishes, if there was like a little dot on here, because when you get into the edges close to your image, if you have something in the background, it can look a little funky using this. There's better programs, and that's where I would use something like Photoshop. But anyways, here we have our image open. Now I'm going to go over to text. I want to layer on some text. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go back here because I want to drop in my logo type for my business, which is Cindy Lee Design. I've created a PNG file or PNG file. PNG files have no background. So even though you see a white background there, it actually has no background. It's going to lay over my image well. A JPEG file always has a background. This actually has a white background in here. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to open this up and you can see there's no background behind the text there. So I am going to resize this so it's just kind of down in the corner so you can see that it's there. And these are kind of my brand colors. So I've got that in there and I like where that's sitting. Perfect. And so now I'm going to add some text. And so I'm going to go up here. I can scroll through and look for text. I can also click on yours and that will pull up fonts that I have on my system. Now this isn't going to pull up my fancy Adobe fonts, I don't believe, but let's look through here. It did pull in my Adobe fonts, which is really awesome. So I can use the font for that if I want to find that in here. But that's only going to work on my computer. If I'm on somebody else's computer, it's not going to work. So I'm going to stick with the fonts that are already in PicMonkey because I can access them no matter where I am and no matter what I'm using, whether it's my computer or another computer. And I will tell you that PicMonkey works on a desktop or laptop. There is a PicMonkey app for your phone, for your iPhone, or for your iPad, for Androids. It's not quite as robust as the desktop version, so I always use the desktop version. So I'm going to be putting some text on my sticky note here. So I'm going to just scroll through and see if I see something that I really like. That kind of looks handwritten. I kind of like shadows into light too. So I'm going to choose that and I'm going to click add text. So this is going to bring up my text box here. I actually want this text to be white, so it matches my white gel pen there, and it's going to pop over top of my sticky note. And I'm going to type in the hacks for let's see, no, I'm going to call this, it's a video tutorial. And that's where I'm going to start. I'm actually going to leave that text left justified. And I want to grab that little guy at the top there because I'm going to lay it over here. So I want to line up that top line just a little bit better with the lines on my sticky note. Let's just see if we can get that almost perfect. That looks pretty good to me. So, video tutorial. Now, I am going to right click and I'm going to duplicate text because it's going to bring that text in at that same angle that I just did. And I'm going to put in here, create branded. I'm going to make this text a little small and just smaller in a minute. Facebook cover page using PicMonkey. Now I want to make that text a bit smaller, so I'm going to highlight all of it and I'm going to come over here. I can either drag this to make it a little bit smaller, or I can actually click the drop down menu, tell it exactly how big I want it to be, or I can type in a number here. So let me type in 32 here and I'm going to hit enter, and that makes that text 32, but I think I want it a little bit bigger, and since I've got some lines to go by, I'm going to actually just use that there, and that looks pretty. Oops, I don't want to get my picture there, so I'm going to go into my layers and I'm going to actually click on the text so I know I'm moving that. So, and if you ever do anything that you want to fix, you just hit the undo button. Now, I like how that lines up really well, but I don't like how it's not jumping off the page. So I'm going to try maybe adding in, let's see if I add in a little bit of a drop shadow. And I'm going to soften that color a little bit. Let's make that sort of a gray drop shadow so it just comes off the page just a little bit. I'm going to go back to options, and I think I do want that text a little bit bigger. So I think that looks good. Now, I do want to add that same drop shadow, perhaps. Or do I want to get rid of the drop shadow? Maybe I want to get rid of the drop shadow. Yeah, now that it's that big, I think we can do that. And I think I'm going to make my text even a little bit bigger, so maybe it takes up 2 lines. There we go. And that's a little too big, so we're going to bring it down just a little bit. So I'm just playing with this a little bit, and I want to say create a branded Facebook page using PicMonkey, and I want to make these probably the same. I kind of like that. That looks pretty good to me. I also want to add in at the bottom, it's always good to let people know where they can find you online. So that is my website URL, but I'm going to highlight that, and I am going to make that a lot smaller because I don't want it right in your face. And there we go. Let's see. Although that's a little harder to see, I want to come click back over here. So I think I'm going to make this a little bit bigger again. Highlight that text a little bit bigger. And there we go. I am liking the way that looks. Now, because I do like the way that looks and I want to use this template again, the first thing I'm going to do before I export this as a graphic to use, I'm going to go up here to my hub and I'm going to click save. This is going to, if you have a paid subscription to PicMonkey, and I will drop a link for you in the description. If you have a paid subscription, it's really affordable. It's only about $72 a year or $7.99 a month. Then you can save things into your hub so that you can use these again and again. So I've already set this up. Now next time I can just go in and change my text. So I'm going to call this FB, let me get rid of untitled, FB posts for Cindy Lee Design. Now I've saved that in my hub. Basically, it's like saving all the layers and it's saving the text and the image in there. In my hub, I can access this from any computer when I'm logged in at any time. Now I want to save this. I want to export it onto my computer so that I can use this on Facebook as a JPEG image. So we've got this coming up. I'm going to call this video to, I'm going to call it FB cover video tutorial, and it's already sized properly, and Pierce is the middle option as far as resolution, which is great for Facebook. Sean I would click on if I was going to print this. Roger if I just wanted a really small image, but I like sticking with Pierce. It's a decent sized file and the file size isn't too bad. I'm going to click export to computer. Come on. Export to computer. Sometimes, depending on your connection, my connection might be a little slow today. It can slow things up. Come on, I want to export it to computer. Oh, okay, if it wants to export it to my OneDrive, we'll export it to my OneDrive. Okay, save image as. Let's try this again. I'm gonna copy this. The other reason to save things to your hub is that if something goes wrong, if your computer crashes, you've saved it in there, you're not going to lose all your work like that. So I'm going to try this again. Everything's where I want it to be, and I'm going to click export to computer. There we go. It was just a little weird hang up. I'm going to save this in here, and voila, we're done. I've created a graphic. If I wasn't doing a tutorial, I probably could have created that in about 5 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to come back to my Facebook page, facebook.com, Cindy Lee Design, or go to my website, cindyleedesign.com. Soon you'll be seeing lots of posts and tutorials loaded up there. And I hope this helps you to create a brand identity for your business, empowers you so that you can do some of these yourself and share your brand with the world. Have a great day.